I think another thing it does set up that I think is good is that it gets characters used to the fact that the person you're playing with dies, because it's supposed to be like you're in the funnel.
You mean?
Yeah, in the funnel, you're supposed to kill off multiple characters.
Yeah.
And so like it gets used to the idea that like, yeah, your characters can die really quickly. Don't get attached.
God, you sound like shit.
Yeah, you know, the people have probably already checked out of this episode because of my voice. It's fine. It is what it is.
Welcome to Take the Damage podcast by Unfortunate Ones. I'm Sav.
I'm Nix.
And I'm Graythorn.
And before we get started, Nix is back from the dead.
Oh, did I die?
You died.
Oh,
no, wait. Sorry. You die in the next episode.
Oh, sorry. Well, yeah, you're giving away the secrets of the next episode.
The secrets. Yeah, you died of karaoke.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Drunk karaoke is what I died from. But don't worry, I resurrection spell, you know?
Yeah.
Died in the Dodger riots.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if there's one thing that Japanese businessmen love, it's baseball and American baseball.
And the Dodger baseball specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what a doozy it was. Anyways, today we are doing our cooldown from our system exploration with Dungeon Crawl Classics with Nix as our judge. So a little cooldown episode on what we thought of the system and the story and our characters and various mechanics, things like that.
Yeah. I have my first big question is I know that Gray really disliked DCC when we first started playing it before we recorded it. At this point, I do want to ask you, Gray, is it at least something that you're willing to give, you know, just to play once in a while?
As long as I never have to do a funnel.
Yeah, the funnel is the thing I think you really didn't like.
I really don't like the funnel. I don't like the
concept.
I don't like the concept and the aspect. I don't see why it's like, this is something you really got to do, guys. Just try the funnel, guys. And it's like, just make the character.
I think part of me gets the feeling based off the writing and how it's described that like part of the ideas that the creators have was like, oh, here's a really interesting way to make your first character. I also agree that I think at past a certain point, I don't really think you need the funnel. I think if you have a group of people that know barely anything about TTRPGs, the funnel is a really easy way to get them into a game.
The funnel feels like it was intentionally made to get a bunch of people to a table.
Yes.
A bunch of them will play the first game, and then none of them show up for the next.
It might be like that. So
kind of like our tables.
Yeah. Like even the funnel I ran, the version of it that I originally got it from,
I remember you mentioned
meant for a tournament.
So, I mean, in general, I think rules that don't allow for creativity during character creation, which I would put the funnel under.
Yeah.
It's the least appetizing way. Like the thing that I can tell you, at least from strangers online, the part that they care about the most
is making
characters. It's where main character syndrome comes from, is they're that into themselves and their character. Whereas like because I honestly, I feel the same about, so like it's the same problem I have with that, you know, rolling down the line thing, where it's like, oh, at that point, I roll down the line. Now, based on my stats, I have to choose my class. I might have a shitty character anyways. It's why I've always liked standard array or point buy
because you get to be more
D&D, because you get to specifically put things where you want them to build the character that you want to build.
I think if, because like the rule book also gives you a layout of like, if you're going to create higher level characters, here's the things to do. So like it understands that, like the creators understand that like people want to come in with either a level 1 or level 2.
Well, they also understand that you're going to homebrew away from them, but there's 2 rules before you get to do, or there's 2 aspects before you get to do anything in DCC that they want you to try. And both of them seem very against what the community at large generally likes.
Yeah,
which is the funnel. So you don't even know what character you're going to get. And then the rolling down the line, where you might get a shitty character. Like if we were playing a campaign, I'd be stuck with Esper until Esper died.
Sure. I think part of it is there is, again, they're very aware that you will home rule away from these things because, again, it acknowledges that you're, at this point, if you're playing DCC, you're probably an experienced player. So, like, I think the thing that made D&D so popular, because it got out of these kind of niche rules that originally had a D&D.
D&D's popular because it left behind what DCC is.
Exactly. So DCC, as much as, like, the roll down the line, that's AD&D. I think it wanted to take that even further, where it's like, hey, you have no real control about what your stats are. How about if you have no real control about your character?
Yeah.
So you don't even choose your class you're in, really. Well, granted, the funnel has no classes. You're just like a pauper.
Yeah.
There are elves and dwarves, and that could be affected. But like, you don't really even choose your weapon, really, and even like the stuff that you come in with in the funnel. So like, I think in my mind, if I was trying to be in the head of the creator, it's like, let's take the concept of you have no real control of the character to the furthest extent that we can.
Yeah. And here's where I could dig it is I also think that players in general are too into their characters.
Sure.
And I think again, that's birthed in character creation. They make this awesome thing and then they don't want to see their character die, because they made this great backstory and this great stats and whatnot. So like, they're way too attached to their character to accept consequences. That's a thing that happens. Also, like I said, it creates that like main character syndrome being very, very common, where it's like, well, how do I turn the table for me to be the hero? Or how do I turn the table to do my backstory stuff? And it's like, man, you're way too focused on your own character. So when you're just given a character and you have to figure it out, I think you're going to be more inherently focused on the table, which is a good thing.
I think another thing it does set up that I think is good is that it gets characters used to the fact that the person you're playing with dies, because it's supposed to be. Like, you're in the funnel.
You mean?
Yeah, in the funnel, you're supposed to kill off multiple characters.
Yeah.
And so like, it gets used to the idea that like, yeah, your characters can die really quickly. Don't get attached.
God, you sound like shit.
Yeah, you know, the people have probably already checked out of this episode because of my voice. It's fine. It is what it is. But like, yeah, it gets you used to the idea that like your character won't last long.
Yeah.
Don't be attached because you didn't even create it.
Yeah.
And you got to find your attachment to the character if you're going to keep it, you know?
So I was going to talk about that as well. I also think that it is, as soon as you start, like, you move away from the funnel and start entering into the game itself, and this could be said even if you skip the funnel and just did the rolling down the line thing, I absolutely love Esper as a character. I want to continue playing her. I hope that she survives the mid game that we make, so that I could bring her into the high level one and just have a terribly statted character in a high level DCC game, because so she's horribly statted, horribly statted. And because of that, I had to find ways to be into her. And then I was, and it played out in I think it was our second recording. I can't remember how many recordings there were, but I think it was the second session.
You said 2.
Okay, so there's the first session.
Well, 3 including the funnel.
The first session of the leveled game. The first session, I failed, and then immediately after, we all agreed that based on DCC rules that I could keep playing.
Yeah,
it's the short from that session.
Yeah,
it's the last short from that session. And then immediately after agreeing that I could roll again, I critically failed because she's a horrible, horrible character. But then the next session, so I spent some time with her, and lore was built, and her relationship with her goddess was built, and that idea that like Esper needs to do shit on her own, not just beg for divine intervention all of the time. And so I started doing shit on my own, and then I got rewarded with a critical success. And then in character attributed that to being looked favorably upon my god. I love the character. And I love the character because I had to figure out how to love the character, because it was a shitty character. Yeah. And I think that's a fantastic exercise for a lot of players out there who are too obsessed with their own characters, the way they write them, and that obsession bleeds out into the table. Whereas instead, you're given a character, maybe a shitty one, find a way to love them.
Yeah.
I think that's a great exercise for players.
Yeah. I don't even think DCC is is my like go-to system.
There's things I would steal. I loved the cleric,
the casting,
the favor, gaining and losing favor with your god.
Yeah,
that was great.
There are aspects of the game that I think are really good. I think it's a fun, like, if you've played a lot of TTRPGs, it's a fun one to throw in there. I think the whole experience is like, oh yeah, this is neat.
Even the funnel, I think, is a fun thing to do at your table at least once.
Yes,
don't do it a million times. It's not a great thing to do, but to try it, I think was pretty fun.
Yeah,
and also have someone at your table that's going to name all your characters for you.
And also, like the first couple of games that I ran for you guys when we were playing DCC, and I had just like the adventures that came with the books.
Sure.
Like, I understand my table does not like dungeons. And then your first experience with the games were the two that came in the book were dungeons.
Yeah.
So like it definitely did color the experience.
We're not a fan of dungeons or dragons, but we love dungeons and dragons.
I like dragons.
I think dragons are okay. I don't
like dungeons.
I think you could do them right, but there are ways to do them where it's like not a great time.
But yeah, not a big fan of dungeons.
But as far as I didn't say this in the episode, but it would be, granted, the mid-level will be several levels later.
Mm-hmm.
But your character's favor would have dropped to 1 instead of being 2 at the end of it.
Because it would be several later. In a traditional campaign, I would have to put that work in.
No. I'm saying, so the quest you got, this job, you gained you got a favor back because the way that the actual like. The way that you
I did something you
prayed,
liked.
Prayed for and got, and you know, when you actually got to success and all that stuff. So you showed that favor to the goddess, and I was like, okay, you get a favor back. But the whole job itself was a quest given to you by Justicia. So you completing the quest and completing it by actually defeating the thing that caused the werewolves to keep coming back. That also is your god sent you there to do it. The bell tolled for Injustia's ring. Yeah. And that's what got you to see. So you completing it would lower your favor even more. And also both of you would have gotten +3 to your luck. Just on that one mission. If we were to continue right after, that's what would happen.
Yeah. I mean, there's when you're doing this low, mid, high thing, there's some expectation of it's gonna change. Yeah. Over time.
That's just the way that this game works. Is there's an expectation you're going to use your resource, and for most characters, luck being the most common one.
Is there anything in DCC that you guys could see yourself pulling? Like, I definitely liked the favor thing, being with or without favor of your god for a cleric. I thought was awesome. I really, really enjoyed that.
I do like that. I've already tried to think of a system to make it work. It doesn't feel harsh because of the way things work in my own universe setting, where like you're not praying to a divine creature, you're thinking you're praying to a divine creature. So if your spells constantly go off, it's supposed to feel like you're always doing it. You're always getting that favor. But I kind of wanted to add like a idea like where if your spells failed, like I don't know, they pass a DC or something like that you failed, and then therefore your god doesn't like you, the god that doesn't exist. But I just don't know how to work that system into a way that I like.
Yeah, well, it can't be the same because there's no resources. So that is the consequence of pass or failing in DCC. But with games with resources, I mean, it could be something along the line. I mean, even just the critical fail thing going up. I don't know how.
Well, originally I had like an idea for like an extra stat, like faith or something that will just go up and down depending on what you're doing and how you're doing, but also it depends on having a player who's responsible enough to understand what that means to them.
Yeah.
What I would love would be like a specific role for, it doesn't even have to be, you know what you could do? You could do this for literally everybody as just a kind of call to action for being religious in a fantasy setting. Not being a divine caster, just being religious. And it could be, a level of being able to call upon divine intervention. So you would have a faith meter, and when you do things within favor of your God, it goes up, and when you don't, it goes down, and that is exclusively for making, I don't know what this would be, but for like making some type of faith check, where like you could kind of divine intervention, maybe ask a simple question. Maybe it's a yes/no question, just for the sake of this argument, that you could ask of your god or goddess, and you could make a check based on that thing. And then for the divine casters, maybe they gain 2 and lose 2 instead of gaining 1, lose 1.
I don't know. I thing is that because I want things to exist in a certain way, that I would be closer to making that faith thing be based on roleplay.
Yeah.
So if I'm constantly asking, so if I see a character do a thing, and I'm like, so how does that make you feel with all this? And they know that I'm gonna give them or knock them a faith point for what the response is, then I'm afraid that they're just gonna not play it right.
Yeah, they're gonna try to game the system in some way.
It's kind of like a level 5 adventurer being brave in the face of an adult dragon.
Mm-hmm.
It's like why are you feeling yourself in front of this creature that has like 100 HP and can do 20 damage a round when you got like 30 HP yourself, bud?
Yeah. Why? I love when people come to me with character backgrounds and they're like, I spent my whole life slaying dragons. It's like, no, you're a level 1 adventurer. You've never seen a dragon.
Well, I'm a 60-year-old subsistence farmer. Them zombies don't scare me. Yep. Zombies.
Yeah. I don't know. I think there's a lot of things that you could play with. It could be also like a hidden stat where like when they do things with or without favor, it's something that you kind of keep track of on your end, and you can hold that where like they do something in the game and they know their own role, right? Where they like try to achieve something and they roll kind of low, not low, but they roll kind of low. And let's say they've been absolutely banking these faith points, but they don't know that. And then you on your end can choose to spend it on behalf of the player because they are not the player's resources, it's the god's resource. So then it's like, as an example, Esper rolls a 9, the DC was 12, and Nyx, who's been holding my faith points, sees that I do have 3 faith points. He can be like, you go to do this thing, and by all rights, you feel that you should fail. You did yourself do whatever the meta equivalent of a 9 is as you go to swing your mace. But then you feel the warmth of Justicia within you and guiding your hands back onto target.
Sure.
You still hit. And it's like, that would be a fucking dope thing, is to have a behind the DM screen of gaining and losing favor with the god, because it could go into negatives as well. And it's like, oh, you should have hit. You rolled a 15 and the DC was 15. You knew you were right on target. And as recompense for your lack of faith in your god, you feel your hand guided away from its target.
That'd be good. But also you're playing with like that's suggesting like a real faith thing. What was, because you mentioned something where like the faith isn't real.
Well,
yeah, that's different.
So divine casters in my game's universe, they don't get power from a god at all. Like, they're praying to nothing. Yeah. Their power comes from the idea that they are praying to something.
Belief.
Yeah. The belief in the devotion and the worship to some higher power is what gives them the power. But they don't understand that. It's like
a placebo effect to the
more or less. Like when you're getting power from something, you're a warlock.
Okay.
The warlock itself is
there are patrons, there are not gods.
Yes.
Okay. Well, not patrons, because it's the warlock itself.
No. The patron exists, and the patron has given that person power.
Oh, okay.
As opposed to the cleric, where they're worshiping some thing that doesn't exist, but they worship it so devoutly that it's based on Stargate.
Okay.
It's pretty cool. This doesn't matter at all, but I've been working on my own pantheon, and there's like a whole hierarchy of like So there's the god, then there's demigods, and the reality is you could pray to them. It's not where you get your power. You get your power from archangels or angels. You could pray to demi-angels, but demi-angels is more like patron level. Mm-hmm. So like if you're a warlock, your patron would be a demi-angel.
Sure.
And then if you are a cleric, you are praying to angels or archangels.
Sure.
And the gods are just beyond reach. They're just not you're never going to fight God. They are beyond your physical reach, no matter how cool you get.
Yeah.
You could, any living thing could, potentially ascend to demi-angel level. They're never going to be an angel.
Yeah.
Now, as a demi-angel, they might be able to kill an angel. But the demigods and the gods, they don't even really exist. I mean, they exist, but not as physical. They're not corporeal. You can't get to them. But also, they have no, they're all just true neutral. The gods themselves are true. They are creators. They're not moderators, if that makes sense. Until you get to the archangel level, there's no corporeal being and there is no moderating.
Sure.
They just exist and create things. They don't give a fuck what you do with it.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as DCC goes,
circling back,
I think the only part, because I think everything else is so niche to the system that or niche, however you want to pronounce it.
Yeah, but if you're going to write your own system as an example,
I think I would try to take something along the lines of we didn't play with it at all, but like the corruption system of wizards. Like, to me, that's fun, where like casting magic can be harmful. Like, casting magic is something where it's an unstable force that you're fucking with. And so like trying to create stability and even like siphon or like funnel this source of power can be dangerous to your body. So like, to me, that's fun. Like that idea is like,
it'd be a cool mechanic. Yeah, because you could like burn an intelligence score, but you still have your max intelligence score, and you get that back, right? It's not permanent.
Intelligence, I don't believe you can burn.
I thought wizards can burn any stat.
It's 3 stats you can burn. It's strength.
The physical ones.
Yeah. I think it's the physical ones.
But they get them back, right? They're temporary burns.
Yes. Yeah. I believe so.
It'd be cool if there was a risk it all kind of system in there where it's like, hey, you can temporarily burn 1 point into this, or you can make a roll, and just choosing to make the roll means that the result is going to be double, and you might gain intelligence score, you might lose intelligence score. It's wild magic.
Oh, sure.
But it's doubled whatever it is. So if you're risking 1 point of intelligence, it's a permanent loss. But you get a +2 instead to your thing.
I think DCC does have something where you do like permanent sacrifices, but I had to look it up again.
Permanent sacrifice is cool. Permanent sacrifice of resources is really cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's there are aspects of the game that are just
they're neat.
You could tell the guys just had fun. Like the creators just had fun putting this thing together. Like the whole combat system with warriors, the whole like the action dice, and like you don't have a set. There's not a set number that improves your damage into hit. It is a dice that you roll.
I like the concept of the luck system. I don't necessarily love the way it's executed, but I could see adopting something like that, of just having a stat where your DM just rewards you points, and that is just a pool of positive.
I don't like the weird like it's locked in from the beginning. Like a couple of things like that in DCC where like this thing, you have this number when you create the character and it's locked into this modifier and that never changes. It's like, yeah, but sometimes it's really poor. And also I do like the idea that like, yeah, if it starts really good and then what if I want to use it, that means that stat should go lower because that's the risk I'm taking.
Yeah.
Is like, yeah, I want to pull into my luck stat. Oh, but my star sign is +3 to hit because I just happen to roll really high on my luck. that doesn't get affected. It's still +3. He's like, no, I want that. I want it to be like fair
should
game.
be affected, yeah.
It should be. I should take that to 0 negatives if I really am pulling in for my luck.
I also don't like the. Well, yeah, because like I didn't understand what the luck modifier was for. Oh, there's certain like casting things.
There's certain casting things.
That's just too complicated.
Yes, it's very. There's certain abilities that it relates to. Mostly, it's a pool it's a pool of numbers you pull
directly
from
pull
to
from the
do
score.
things in the game, and its base number is your star sign. And
I wonder
it
if
does
it's
determine a couple things at the creation of the character, but for the most part, it really is just a resource. It's just a resource pool.
I wonder if at higher levels, it matters more. The sign. And the modifier specifically.
It could, but again, the modifiers set a character creation. You can't change that.
No, the modifier changes. The sign doesn't.
Sorry, that's what I meant. The sign modifier.
Yeah.
The modifier to the sign.
That's I think the fix though. In my mind, the fix is your modifier. So like based on your class or whatever, you can add at any point your modifier to a thing. And then just have it be the modifier, which makes the luck points, it makes you want to spend the luck points to succeed less. You kind of want to keep a high pool of luck because that affects your modifier, and your modifier affects your sign. So that to me would be the way to fix it.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, if it wasn't locked in, if it was just like free flowing, or even if you could, depending on the thing that you want to do, if you could declare as a player to be like, oh, can I use my luck instead?
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna lift this stone. I have really bad strength. Oh, can I use my luck modifier? And like, yeah, we can use your luck modifier for this ability.
Oh, without it affecting your luck score.
Or just like, let's say you've done a couple good things. You haven't used your luck resources. You have a +3 to your luck.
Yeah.
Because it's really high. But you have like a -2 strength.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, let me try to lift this boulder off of my friend. It's like, oh, you have a -2 to your roll. It's like, well, can I use my luck instead? Like, can I just use my luck
I think you're supposed to use your strength and then draw from your luck score.
Sure.
Consume your luck score.
Sure.
In order to do that. I get what you're saying.
Sure. I just, to me, it's trying to do something where the modifier means something more than just a resource pool.
But I do like the idea of just a resource pool based on the DM rewarding the players constantly, and it's just a simple plus this, plus that resource pool.
I also pulled from it too, where in our game, I made certain things a luck roll. Yeah. So like, it just, at least for me, I wanted to use it. I wanted to use the luck.
Well, since it's there, because normally when you do a luck roll, it's always just a straight roll.
Yeah.
So a game that has luck involved in it, having a luck roll, having that pool for luck, I think is cool.
Yeah.
I could see pulling that into G&G, where like the luck class already, the way the luck class works is you have basically every level that you have a pool of luck points. So your chances are always 50-50 when you make a roll, but you can choose to use that pool to pad your luck, so to speak. It'd be cool to just have a luck stat in G&G that directly follows that, but is used kind of in the way that you just said, where like the way I was saying, where like when luck checks come up, so everybody has that pool. When luck checks come up, they can roll luck checks and add that number just for luck checks in G&G as a system. So they can't use the pool like the luck class can, but they can at least use it when the DM calls for a luck check.
Yeah.
Just always having kind of like positive luckiness.
Yeah.
And that's up to you how you would stat it as well. Doesn't matter. That's another topic. DCC.
Yeah.
Anything else that you guys
I was about to say, do you guys have any questions other on the system itself?
I think the idea of not having a resource for spells, like
I like that.
A set like casting pool is pretty neat. I do like the faith idea for the what are they called? Clerics.
Casters, yeah.
But
and paladins as well would be similar.
The wizards are similar in that like there isn't you don't lose. You lose the spell if you fail casting, but mostly you get like negative consequences.
And the corruption I find a bit strange. I mean, I guess for the theme of the game, it works, but I find it strange to penalize a character with their main tool.
Yes.
And like there are times where you're going to have to cast a spell to do anything correctly or anything efficiently, effectively.
Well, especially as a wizard, because you can't just do things physically like other people can. So yeah, it's not just like, it's not just something you have access to. In no system that I've seen where you are a full spellcaster, is that an extra thing that you have access to? No, that's your thing. Now, that's the thing you do.
That's the thing that you do, and you're gonna get. There's a chance that you're gonna, grow a extra arm for it. Yeah. And the arm's a tentacle,
a third eye,
or something like that. It is kind of strange to me. Like it's if there was a way to make it so that you can either cast it or you can cast it in a better way with the chance of corruption, I think that'd be a bit less penalizing.
I like the general concept because, at least for the most part, magic seems so powerful. And even
that is true, though.
In DCC,
the DCC magic is fucking insane.
So, like, in my mind, yes, it is your thing, it is your class's thing, but your thing is you're throwing around like nukes.
Yeah,
you're throwing around atomic lasers, and like, yeah, you're gonna get radiation poisoning. That's part of the idea that like you're this super powerful thing that's walking around with this like unbelievable access to a resource. So like, yeah, it's your thing. It's what your class does, but also there's just a risk that you run, which is like you grow an extra eye.
Yeah, but
your fucking fingers.
But I agree with him. I think you need either or. Either you lose the spell, and that's the punishment, or you gain corruption. To have both seems pretty crazy.
I think in the way DCC works, I believe the corruption only happens at critical
fumble
failures.
Yeah. Does your fumble increase like faith?
Only for clerics. Clerics are the only.
So, yeah.
But they also have a different.
So that's not that bad actually.
Okay.
That's
I guess
fun.
so.
Yeah. So
the way I thought of it was that by the time you actually get to cast, a magic missile that could hit any single person from across the world. So you're gonna be like that guy from the episode of Star Trek where he's in the black like wheelchair thing and all he could talk is through beeps.
Yeah, I think the way it works is like the 1 on the table is rolling the corruption table, and then 2 to like 10 on the roll is just lose the spell.
Okay.
So I think that's how it works.
Losing the spell's fine. I love the idea of losing spells.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of that.
No.
To me, it seems silly. Like I know Mage Hand, and then I roll too low, and it's like, what's Mage Hand? I don't even remember.
I really like the idea of Vancian casting.
Yes, I like Vancian magic too. It's just the idea. Again, you're doing very powerful things. The shock to your system. Again, this is the reasoning, whether or not you agree with it, but the shock to your system of trying to control this magic. And you can't. You have the inability. The universe itself rips it away from your brain because it's just
that feels divine though. That's there's some things that people attribute to like learned classes that to me just feel.
I mean, you could associate
kind of
it.
Divine.
So I think that's the part of the ideas it plays with. It's just like you could attribute it to divine action, which is like the gods themselves are determining whether or not you have the ability to cast a spell.
Yeah,
it's like science. It's what was the gods before are now explainable through science.
Sure.
It's like, yeah, this is just the idea of trying to cast this magic and trying to understand something that's supposed to be unknowable. I get the concept.
I just think not having your spell list seems less fun to me.
Sure, I get that. I see that. But again, I like that concept. I think it's fun. I think it's a fun idea to play with.
On the note of the clerics, so your fumble means you roll on the fumble table.
Yeah.
And there are significant consequences on that fumble table itself. You lose favor, it means your fumble range increases. So let's say you get your range up to like 15 or whatever. Let's say a 15 would hit, but it is now within your fumble range. In DCC, is a fumble an automatic failure? Or does it just mean that you have to roll? Like, can I fuck my favor up so bad that even successful rolls are fumbles and I'm just having consequences every time I roll, but still getting to do the thing I want to do?
I think that conceptually the way I would think it's if your disapproval range is so high that it starts falling in the range of what would be a successful spell, I think the fact that it is in your disapproval range means that the spell isn't successful.
Yeah.
So like if you have 14 on your range, your fumble range, and a 14 rolled on the table would be a successful spell that has these effects, your disapproval is so high, your god does not like you.
Yeah.
So your god, even at a 14, even at a spell that would be successful, your god says, no, I told you, fucking stop. And so you'd have to roll on the table.
Yeah, but I mean, potentially. I would want to know what the book says about it, because I could see it's like, I could easily see you could make the same type of argument where your god's like, fine, you cast a spell, but also you have to drop down and give me 40 Hail Marys, which is like a consequence of the fumble table. So like there's inherent consequence already. I wonder if it's doubled down on where, and it would make sense if it was. The explanation is loss of favor. It would make sense that if anything within your fumble table is a fail, would make sense.
Well, the only thing is, that, remember, those are two different concepts. It's your fumble table is what you roll on after failing the spell.
Yes.
The disapproval range is a different thing. So like,
no. But your disapproval range is your fumble range. So
it's the range at which you have to then roll on a fumble table.
Yes, I understand that. What I'm saying is if you roll within your disapproval range, would otherwise pass the check, you're getting consequences no matter what. Yeah. I wonder if the system doubles down on it.
Yeah, I don't know offhand.
Sure.
My general inclination is that you're within disapproval.
Within the flavor of the reason for you having to roll on the fumble table is your god not liking the things that you're doing or who you are, I guess, as a person. Yeah, I could see your magic also just not working. It wouldn't surprise me if that is the rule.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a question.
Yeah.
Are there feats of any kind? Feats, special actions, or anything like that you would get through leveling?
Not that I'm aware of. There's very little that actually you get as a... You have abilities for your class. Like your class has certain abilities.
And you just get better at them.
You just get better at them. I don't think anything opens up. I don't think you get the ability to do other than more action dice. So like your characters will get more action dice and better modifiers for the class. But there's no actual like improving of the character of like your base scores.
Yeah.
Like whatever your base scores are for a level 1 character, that's, and like even your health, like your HP, that doesn't change. Like sorry, your health does go up each level based off of your dice. But like your AC doesn't. Like your AC is set on your armor that you're wearing and your dexterity, but you can't other than certain classes that do add modifiers to it, but there's no other way to really do it. There's not like the level 4 or level 8 in 5e where you get to like boost your stats.
Yeah.
There's nothing like that. So like if and also even like armors, all those negative buffs that happen to armor to increase your AC, those never go away. Those are always there.
Well, as long as you're wearing the armor.
As long as you're wearing the armor. Like, there's no way to circumvent that.
That's interesting.
So for the most part, I don't think...
Sorry, does your HP go up as you level?
It does. So I forgot about that. You do add your dice, a rolled dice to each time you level up. There isn't a base number. There isn't like your your constitution.
Like everything goes up so flatly. I almost wish it did more, and that is something that I wouldn't mind writing into our systems would be like, I really like that for casting, it's your roll plus, like it's your whatever ability score is attributed to your class plus your level. And I like that. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I like that too, where like the divine casters and...
It's like proficiency points in 5e, except it's a much easier number to deal with.
Yes.
It's plus your level directly.
I think it's a really good... The system I've been working on for a while, like the magic-based system, I've been using... I use your level as part of like certain things. I think it's just a really clean way to do things.
Mm-hmm.
So just, what level you are, that just gets added.
Yeah.
It doesn't like change or whatever. It's just your level.
Yeah, I dig it. I think
it's pretty cool.
All right. Anything else you guys dig about DCC?
Yeah, the system itself. We can talk about the actual game that I ran later, but we can roll in the loot table.
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Come on, everybody. Let's get hyped.
Let's go and roll.
Yeah.
Was that?
On the loot table. Let's go and see
Let's
who
do it,
our
everybody.
sponsors will be.
Come on. Let's go.
Let's go roll on the loot table.
Well, today's sponsor, definitely a paid sponsor.
Yeah, they paid us for this.
They give us so much money.
They all do. They all do.
Is
I've already blown all of it on Dodger tickets.
drum rolls, hold your breath. DCC,
Yeah,
Dungeon Crawl
DCC.
Classics. Hey.
My selling point for DCC as our sponsor, and this is not copy that they gave me,
Mhm.
is honestly, I think it's a fun time for people who are experienced with other TTRPGs. You've played other TTRPGs, and especially if you have a little inkling to like an older school version of it, like
back to the classics.
like if you want to kind of experience like AD&D, but you don't want to drudge up AD&D, and you kind of want a taste of what like old school, how old school TTRPGs were set up, at least how D&D was set up. I think it's a really interesting little take on it. Also, it's just like play a game with a bunch, like knowing that the creators behind the game were just having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Like stuff kind of doesn't make sense, and stuff is kind of all over the place. But like you could tell that these guys are having fun putting stuff together.
It's definitely, I would say, it's in depth enough as a system that it can hold its own, and you might like it to be your system. But even if that's not true, and even if that's not what you're gunning for, just to bring something fresh to the table,
Yeah.
it's great. And the community behind it is also great. There are so many community written adventures.
I think that's probably one of the best things about DCC and coming across it for myself is like seeing the creators, at least what they're presenting is like such an open community.
Yeah.
And such an open idea to people creating and making things for the game, where like the creators themselves on their website host adventures that other people have made and they sell it online on their website.
Yeah.
Like you as a community member can make a game, create the PDF for it, host it on the actual game creator's website, and they'll sell it for you.
Yeah.
And so like there's granted, like even in the book, they talk about how the way that this game started and how they tested it is they went to conventions and they played it with people in conventions. So like it has been such a community forward game for such a long time that I think it shows through to like how the game plays, how it's set up, how the website's set up, and how like people seem to talk about it. It's like, yeah, man, it's such a cool thing to aspire to, at least for me.
Yeah.
As like somebody who wants to be a creator in this space where like, yeah, man, I kind of want to do things a little bit how they're doing it. Like it seems like a really cool thing.
Yeah.
Like they have a really cool, fun approach to creating something.
Yeah. I like the way they've built. I like the way they release things. I like the way they build up their community, and it is a fun game. I mean, it might not be everybody's favorite, but it is a fun game, and also it again, like I said, it is in depth and detailed enough where this could be you could run a campaign in this. It's not just the funnel, and there's a lot of aspects of it that I really did enjoy.
And I think there's a lot of like every single class feels like they've tried to do something in it. Where I think as a player you can find something that you'd enjoy.
Yeah, I like each class. So I know we know about the Wizards class, and then you played as, I think it was called Warrior or Fighter.
Warrior.
You played as Warrior, which essentially gave you like an open-ended like Battle Master thing where you had like trick. What were they called?
Deeds
That you could just add on, where it's like, hey, if I hit, I also have the possibility to do this extra thing. What's the extra thing? And you dictated what the extra thing was. And then the DM just describes it the way they want to describe it. But you roll on that deed dice as well. And you get that deed dice added to your shit. So like that was really unique for the warrior. The clerics having the increase and loss of favor, but otherwise unlimited spell casting. Very cool.
Yeah.
For all of the casters, all of the spells, I kind of fucking hate this, but only as someone who hates looking at tables. But it is neat. It's neat reading the tables where each spell has an entire table. So most of them are a pass if you roll, because you're not rolling against the enemy. You're rolling for general success with your modifiers. I believe most of them start around 12 is just like
something like
baseline success. But then a 14 is a little more powerful. 16 is a little bit more powerful. 18, and it goes up to like 30.
30s, like usually plus 30s.
Yeah. So it's really cool that your spells can do these. Like sometimes they could just be extremely potent, and then sometimes they're just good in the way that you want them to be good.
Yeah,
it's very unique, very interesting.
Yeah, and it even like its approach to magic, where like you could do in the book, it says you could do the reverse effects of certain spells. You just lower your dice class.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you're at a higher enough level, lowering your dice class isn't that much of an effect, and so you can do these reverse tricks to your spells.
Yeah.
So like I think there are these just really interesting things, and like even the classes you guys didn't play with, like the fact that this game the actions are associated with the dice itself. So like the dwarf character or the halfling character has like 2 action dice. So you roll 2 d16s instead of rolling 2 d20s to do things, to do your attacks.
Yeah.
And like for the halfling, your d16 crits on a 16. So like it just like they're just these fun little things that you could find that just, and like the thief, like I was saying earlier, where there's no real expansion to your pool of abilities. The thief has all thief abilities that a thief will ever have as soon as they're level 1. So they have fucking a stack of abilities that you have as a thief at level 1. It's like, oh, it's neat. That's cool that you just can do all these things as a thief. You're just not very good at them.
Yeah, and you get good at them.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a cool system. I would check it out. Go
Yeah.
get it. Dungeon Crawl Classics.
Try it
It's
out.
great.
It's good.
Great little system. All right. So about your story.
Yeah.
I knew so quickly it was that thing that you had talked about a few months ago, wanting to run like, I had this neat idea about werewolves, and the moment we get into town and it's werewolves, I'm like,
There was a Take the Damage episode we did where we were just shooting the shit. And in shooting the shit, I was like, we were talking about like, wouldn't it be a neat idea if there's like this ancient werewolf that's like bleeding into some sort of water source or something, and that's how people are becoming infected. It's like, I'll just do that. We did DCC. It's an ancient werewolf.
Yeah.
That's bleeding into a water source that every once in a while, like an ancient ruined temple, every once in a while when somebody's seeking shelter, they come across this water pool that's just open water and they drink it and then they become werewolves. So I think in this story, it was for like 1,000, 2,000 years that werewolf was there.
Nice.
So the town, Shulton, the moon god is named Shull.
Okay.
So it's Shull's town is the original town it's from. That's where that monastery comes from. The story about the ancient werewolf is she is a warrior of the god Shull. Werewolves are an ancient warrior class for the god. That's how they were fighters, and that's how they protected, is they became werewolves. So she is supposed to be a sentient werewolf. She was a sentient werewolf. But when she got crushed in the earthquake that kind of destroyed the whatever, she eventually became undead because at death, the werewolf form kicks in to protect them, to keep them alive. And she's just been that for like 2,000 years. So she's just this undead thing that's just living in this pool of water that literally her body will not let her die.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed how much you displayed to us as well. Like your decision not to have her speak.
I was planning on having her speak, but in the moment I chose not to.
I liked it though. I think the limited interaction and doing physical acting rather than verbal, I think was cool.
Yeah.
And it told enough. And it leaves you to guess as well. I think that's a cool way to do storytelling in general.
And then like some of like I've always wanted, I planned it. The guy that was up there was some sort of mental issue.
Sure.
Or this reason why he didn't want to be near people.
Yeah.
Because he was aware that he wasn't.
Yeah.
Like very aware that like he wasn't right.
Something was wrong.
That something was wrong. But at least he tried to stay away from people.
Yeah.
I had a contingency that depending on how much of a group that you guys had dealing with it, it was going to be two people. It's going to be him and his brother that were going to both be up there. Because it was you two solo, I left it to just the one character.
Sure.
The tunnels or the crypts, the mausoleums underneath the ground were nothing, but they would lead you to the ideas this town used to be
Sure.
for show.
It was a lore dump. Probably an extra episode out of it, but it would be in a lore dump.
It would have been more of this. The town was originally created for the god of the moon.
Yeah. You know what I like about the way you handled the bad guy in that, air quotes, bad guy, is it's something that I do a lot, but I feel like gets missed where it's like, hey, this is still the bad guy.
Yeah.
Like, I like doing that because sometimes I do that where I write a character and it's meant to be fought. And then I sit on it for a week and I'm like, but how can I make them interesting? And then my player party inevitably wants to befriend them. And it's like, no, they're bad guys.
Yeah.
Just because they're interesting doesn't mean you shouldn't execute them.
Yeah.
And I think it was cool because, like, especially the way we did it, or at least the way Esper was thinking about it, was like, okay, well, this is also mercy.
Yeah.
It's not just justice for the town and the people that have been slain and the victims of the town. It is also justice and mercy for this being to not live in this horrific way.
The way that would have been the solve to keep him alive is deal with the ancient werewolf first. The curse would have
Curse
gone
lifts.
away. The curse lifts if you would have killed the ancient.
Sure, but
werewolf.
especially as a low level, like I don't have the ability to remove curses or anything. So like, you know, as a low level, the best that I can do is to execute the person suffering.
My favorite thing was, I think Gray at one point was like, "Oh, let's just let the moon happen, and let's deal with the werewolves when they show up." That was one I believe you.
Our original plan was let's just let the thing come.
My favorite thing is the little girl had lycanthropy.
Oh
So
shit!
you guys
son.
would have been in the outskirts dealing with the wolf, and as you guys were coming back in, would have been hearing the town in chaos as the little girl had turned into a werewolf and started fucking
That's
people
so
up.
fucking good. I love that.
Yeah.
I didn't even fucking think about that. Yeah, she was a victim of a werewolf.
The little girl had lycanthropy. She would have turned in the moonlight.
Honestly, I figured that was going to be a thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Really? I
werewolf
didn't even
attacks.
think of that. I'll be right back.
Yeah, but you guys killed the ancient werewolf, which lifted the curse, so she no longer has lycanthropy. But yeah, that would have been fun if you guys had stumbled into that.
Yeah, as a person who's played enough of these games to know, it's like, hey, you get attacked by a werewolf, you're probably gonna get lycanthropy, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I think you had more interest than him of actually seeing her, and in seeing her, and if you actually interacted with her, there were ways to tell that she was bitten, and there's a potential that she does.
yeah, because she was wounded.
that
some
she
sort.
was wounded.
Yeah,
So there would have been a way to tell that. Oh yeah, this little girl has lycanthropy.
I think one thing I wanted what was the character Alara to do was like, can you hold this for me?
Yeah.
I was gonna give it like a piece of silver or something.
Sure.
And like, oh well, that sucks.
Yeah. It's also why in the church I specifically called out that the metals were gold. None of the metals were silver.
Mhm.
But yeah, it was that was fun. When you suggested it, I was like, oh, I can't wait.
Yeah. Yeah, I was something I did want to do. I don't think we ever met the girl, did we?
No.
Yeah,
you guys talked about it a lot, but you never actually went to go see the little
Yeah,
girl.
it was in the back of my head, but even then, like, I don't think I would have to ask you, like, how much does Alara know about werewolves?
Yeah.
Does Alara know that this could be passed by, like by attack or something like that?
I think people in the town could have potentially told you information, but I wanted it to be where like information wasn't that easy to come by.
Yeah, I would have.
Fillion was supposed to be your guys' source of information. I drawn her up from the beginning to be.
I figured so much.
Yeah, she is the person that is going to give you the best amount of like coordinating and figuring out stuff. Because so in the lore I have of the world, it's like even in DCC, like elves and dwarves can live for a very long time. If this town is only a couple millennia old, there's a chance that if an old enough elf, because elves live about that, they can live that lifespan. If there's an old enough elf, they could be in that town and know everything.
Yeah.
About what's going on. It's like, oh, this used to be a town that worshiped the moon god. but in my own lore dump of the world, it's there was a war between the human races and then the demi races, and then that had ended about 50 to 100 years ago. So she is somebody who's an explorer, a traveler, and she just traveled to this town after the travel was allowed, and so she has just not been in this town long enough. She is several hundred years old.
Yeah, but she's not been here.
She's not been here in this part of the world.
Yeah.
So that was my excuse. The same thing with like the Smith. The Smith was also new to the town.
What was the clue that got us to go to the mountains? Was it from Filion?
No, it was from tracking.
You guys tracked.
Oh, we tracked. Yeah. Because there was a couple of things in there. I was thinking about it where like,
so
I was complimenting you before because I feel like we did find a lot, but I never felt like we were being overly guided. And there was a couple of things that I was thinking like, it felt like we like just barely got it and nearly missed it.
So the other thing that would have been important is there were 2 attacks on the house in 2 different parts of the city. They both had tracks that led out towards the mountain. If you never went to go investigate the other house.
Well, we didn't need to because we found the tracks on this one.
Sure, but if you found tracks from both houses, they would have pointed you to the direction to go to. It would have triangulated you to the place you needed to be. So that was the clue between the 2 houses.
Sure.
Is they would have led you to, other than understanding that there is bite and claws. Those were the attacks. So that was the attack pattern and damage on the walls was claws and bite marks. So that would have given you we have 3 attacks that we have to deal with. That was part of what I put in there.
What do you mean 3 attacks?
So in terms of like understanding the enemy that you're fighting, the damage done.
Oh, as in the enemy has 3 attacks.
The enemy has 3 attacks.
Yeah.
It attacks with its claws and attacks with its teeth.
Yeah.
So that was the clue, one of the clues built into the attacks. And like I believe the first house was a month ago, and a guy was there. The kinfolk to this person had claimed the house, repaired it, but he had a pile of stuff that was still damaged that you could have looked at.
Yeah. And
part of his fencing that he repaired would have been in the direction. So that's how you would have triangulated.
That was another thing that I would compliment you on it was a fun adventure, and the fun did not come from figuring out what you were facing. Because we knew very early on, the first people that we talked to, they were like, this is a werewolf in town. But the fun was triangulating it and tracking it and things along that line, rather than the fun being like finding clues that lead you to believe that it is a werewolf and then confronting the werewolf, possibly just waiting for the full moon.
Yeah.
Because that's how you normally would run a werewolf game, or that I see people running werewolf games, where it's like something's going on in this town and you don't know what. And then you find the clues, realize it's a werewolf, wait for the full moon.
My original approach was that when I was building
it's a common approach.
The concept. But I was like, no, but I wanted the concept of this town. This town is mobbed by werewolves like every half century.
Yeah.
Like every 20 to like 60 years, a new werewolf pops up. The people in this town, humans, yes, they have shorter lifespans, but like the stories would have carried from one. There would like these people would know this is a werewolf.
Yeah.
In fact, this is probably happening for millennia. Yeah, they would have built a whole thing around it.
It's a werewolf in town.
It's the Silver Night Patrol was like, this is an established thing. This is a thing that people do. People look forward to being a part of it. This is like I was a Silver Knight is like something you could say as something that was like in your history. Like that old man had glory, he had glory in his past of being the guy who slayed the beast. And so like, to me in my mind, it's like, this is such a common occurrence in this town. Not common, but like, it happens enough where like there's lore built in the town in and of itself that they would set aside things. But the last attack that had happened, I think was 60 years ago, something like that, 50 or 60 years ago, or maybe even 70. So like the stuff that was there was all put aside, and it was all thinking it was going to happen again within 20, 30 years, but it had been so much time since the last one that a lot of the stuff is just worn away.
Yeah.
Like his sword, I know you grabbed it. I tried to be very descriptive that the handle was shaky and everything. But if you'd like taken that sword to the smith and he just repaired the handle, it would have been fine. You could have used the old man's sword. It's not much better stats than.
I mean, you
but
got us free our own stuff anyway.
Yeah, the silvering stuff. Again, how do I make it like the town would set aside resources? I can't make that part difficult.
Yeah.
Like if I make that difficult, it's just arbitrarily making it difficult.
Yeah.
It's like no, this town is prepared for this.
But that's kind of what I meant. But like it was what felt refreshing of a take is not to just follow these clues, and then for me and Gray to just be looking across the table like it's gonna be a werewolf. It's gonna be a werewolf. And then when it finally happens, it's like, oh wow, it's a werewolf. and then fucking at that point we've played most of the game, so the last thing to do would just wait for the full moon. It's not a big it's hard with known creatures to do a big oh shit moment and to do a big drop.
Yeah.
Unless they are getting a surprise round on you, then if you're descriptive enough, I feel like you can. But overall, I think it's hard to do that. So to walk into a town and they're like, we hunt werewolves, and the problem we're having, it's a werewolf. And then having to, so figuring out what it was never really a part of the campaign, which was refreshing because that also means that revealing what it is isn't part of the campaign. And
even the guy that was infected,
yeah,
part of his psychosis was he didn't think his turning. He thought that was part of the weird stuff that was happening to him. So he wasn't aware that he was a werewolf.
Yeah.
He was just thinking that it was part of the hallucinations and the voices and the different things that was going on, and his lack of like control of himself from time to time. Yeah. That like he wasn't aware that that he was a werewolf. So like, that to me that was part of it, was like the actual like the part that's the stuff you're confronting isn't very direct.
It's not figuring out that it is a werewolf. It's not a werewolf being revealed to you. From the get, the adventure was how to deal with a werewolf.
Yeah.
And not just how to deal with a werewolf as in you hit it with silver. We also knew that we were low enough level that we could have gotten absolutely fucked up if we waited for the fucking full moon.
Oh, you're fucking... like your first crit, Gray's first crit was high enough on the crit table. It blew away a weapon.
Yeah.
Like shattered a weapon. I was like, werewolf doesn't have weapons. I guess it's a fucking hand. I guess you shatter a hand. So it takes one of my action dice away. I was like, damn it. I wanted to do more damage.
That's funny.
I wanted to hit you guys harder.
Yeah, it was a fun game. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed both of our characters as well.
I also really wanted to. I really tried to push it, but you guys did not take the bait. I really wanted you to go with the mustachioed fellas into the crypt. I really wanted that to happen.
Sewers.
I know sewers.
That's alternative for sewers.
I mean, it was going to be like grave sites. It was like underground. Like you ever see the underground like graves in cities? Like they're in the walls and stuff.
Yeah, the catacombs.
Like catacombs.
Crypt. Crypt is an apt word.
Yeah, catacombs I think fits better. But like, yeah, that's what it would have been. I would have loved to have him just braggadociously saying things to you guys as you guys are going down the
and nothing happens and we just have to listen to him.
And he just is trying to make things work, and he just does it. It's all just nonsense.
I love writing characters that are overly talkative and then
overly confident.
Just overly talkative in general, and then over talk to your players for like a couple of minutes straight.
Yeah.
And then give them an out where you're like, hey, this person's just going to keep talking at you forever. I will RP this until you guys stop wanting to pay me money.
You guys read that as a book and it was like, we're not doing anything with the Silver Knights.
So I did want to go into the catacombs as a player, especially because I was meta information suspicious of what you had going on. So I remembered when you were talking about being underground. Something about being underground.
Yeah, that was part of, yeah.
So in my mind, I was like, if it is this, it's down there. But one, fuck metagaming. So I didn't want to do that. And two, for a lot of things, I was letting Gray's character Alara lead because my character was canonically just not that smart. So like there was a lot of things where like I would come up with an idea and then I was like, I don't think that Esper would.
Yeah. I also try to be very forward about like the direction and the side of the town that was affected.
It was so confusing.
Really?
I could not draw you a map of this town.
Oh, really?
Could you? Do you know where the attacks happened? Something that I thought they were in the north for a long time. They were in the north, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like
They were
the
in the
northwest area.
Both of those things were in the north.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
But then the town expanding and then the attacks being on the outside of the town was a little bit confusing for a long time. I think we inevitably got the clue of like the attacks happening from without.
Yeah.
Which is what it was supposed to be.
that's all I was trying. That town is old enough. Again, several thousand-year-old town. Like it would constantly expand, but it would always be on the northern
On the
edge.
northern side. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I don't know. I was having troubles picturing it.
yeah, it's fine. I was trying my best to be very
It's all
forward
good.
with it.
I
You guys got it enough.
have multiple, and yeah, we got enough. We solved it.
You got it enough where like you quickly after a certain amount of clues, you're like, oh, so it isn't underground because it was not.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. Yeah, with the things.
Enough clues that we don't need to go into the sewers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also just like I have that problem all the time too, where like I think I'm being super descriptive. Fucking hell, my Friday game, man. I sure do love them, but man, every time I describe a building as a 1-story building, the rest of the game is them being like, I go upstairs, I go downstairs, and I'm like, what stairs?
What stairs are you talking about?
What are you? I describe in detail the building, and it's like it's a 1-story building with like a drinking hall in the center, and then the perimeter of the buildings is where the rooms are because it's also an inn. So it's like the main drinking hall,
Oh,
and then there's
in.
yeah, the main drinking hall, and then multiple doorways that lead to like the perimeter around the drinking hall, which is where all of the rooms are. And then every single time, all right, I'm gonna head down the stairs. What stairs? There's been like 4 buildings that's happened. So like it's very easy within a description to lose people when you're doing theater of the mind and you're not doing maps and things like that. I think I had a decent idea of the layout of On Top of the Hill.
Yeah.
I think that I could picture pretty well. Like the walkway when we were walking up, and it went up, and then it went down, and
Also, I
the
in my head,
cracks in the water.
in my head, I was trying to picture like a lot of like Asian temples.
Sure.
Like a lot of that like Thai or Japanese or like those kind of like really flat and kind of their buildings and whatever. So like I think familiar enough with you, to be able to understand like a layout like that.
Yeah, just even movies or TV. I just think your description was good.
Yeah. But also the other thing I was trying to lore dump or a lore fix into the world. I don't think you did. I don't know if you really captured it or picked up on it. Also because I failed at introducing a character that I planned on introducing, which is Lauren, the town guard.
Yeah,
the town
I
captain,
don't think we ever met her.
or the guard captain of the town.
I think we saw her speak.
You saw her the second time you guys went to see the Silver Knights. She was in there.
I think she was in the room. I don't think we like.
You didn't speak to her.
Yeah.
She was supposed to be one of the people speaking in that main town hall. I just kind of completely passed over her because it felt like I was dragging.
Yeah.
So I wanted to kind of speed things up and introduce a third speaker. Was like, this is because she was going to be before the mustachioed guy to introduce him.
Yeah.
But she is also a follower of Justicia, and so is her squire, and they both have long braided hair. The priest of Justicia has long braided hair. So I wanted to push this idea that followers of Justicia have long braided hair. So I wanted to push that on you because your character, Esper, is like a recent follower.
Sure.
So I was like, I want to push.
Shit, I gotta get some raids.
He's gonna push this idea that like you should put.
Do I
braids
get
on.
favor?
Yeah, it's just like it's part of like people who follow her.
Yeah.
Part of it is like also Justicia in my head. I have a little bit of like who was the name of the god in Elden Ring?
Marika.
Marika. I have a little bit of like Marika. Like that's kind of the image I have in my head.
Take a look at this warlock. Those types of scenes are really hard to do. I've done that in I can only think of one instance of it, but I've done like a city council meeting
Yeah.
that my group sat in on. It's like, this is going to be like a 2-hour meeting of politicians talking to each other. It's a lot of like, well, they're talking about the current state of the, finances in the town, blah, blah, blah. And you kind of like just give a general description.
And get a player goes, but what are they saying exactly? What are they talking about this time?
Yeah.
Well, so what I would do is I would give a really, so yes, I didn't pause. This is how I did it, was I just didn't pause at all. And then I gave a very like, they hit these various subjects. And then at one point in the meeting, this person stands up and starts saying these things. And I would name the character, give a brief description of him because it could be important. And that's like hey, you guys could talk to this person if you wanted to after the meeting. And then I would say specifically what they said and then the reaction to it. And then, or maybe a couple reactions to it or the general crowd. And then I would say like, oh yeah, they talk about that for a while before they then move on to these general talking points, blah, 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 blah. Some time passes. And then this person stands up and says this other important thing.
Mhm.
So like, it wasn't that long, I feel like, maybe 15, 20 minutes to get through what would be an in-game 2-hour fucking city council meeting.
Yeah.
But still, it was a little bit hard to navigate of like, in a game like this, in a TTRPG, to sit through a big old like a town meeting.
Yeah.
It's a lot, and it inevitably feels like like it's dragging.
That was also part of my decision of not making the Ancient Werewolf talk. Was like it felt like he would be dragging it, like I'd just be lore dumping. And it's like I don't need to lore dump. Like that's not a place I need to be in this moment.
Or hear you out, or dump the whole time.
Her name is Rafaela Grimshaw. That's her name.
My favorite thing to do is the canon within my worlds is to like, oh yeah, only important people get last names. And then like even people that are like moderately important, I'm like, nah, not important enough. Stop asking me last names. Look, you're already asking me to come up with a name on the spot. Stop asking me to make 2 names on the spot. Not important enough. Just 1 name. Sorry, bud. What is their name? Beth. What's her last name? Beth, the guard captain.
Also, Shoal is described as male, I think, in the book, but I think I changed it in my depiction of it to be female. I made it a goddess. But also Shoal is the same alignment as Justicia. And the Ancient Werewolf is technically a divine warrior of Shoal, and you happen to be in the area as a recent acolyte and fairly true acolyte of Justicia, a warrior. And it's like, okay, hey, go help a friend of mine. Go help one of his warriors has been trapped.
Mm.
And so like that to me, then my reasoning of like why you got plucked by Justicia.
That's cool.
To go see if you could help. Which is why you also, on completion, your favor would go lower.
Right.
Because it was a call from Justicia.
I was going to ask you earlier, how did I act within favor? Like, how was I called to this mission? I remembered the bell thing, and that's enough of an answer.
It's a goddess that shared the same alignment as Justicia.
That's cool.
And one of her warriors was stuck.
Why was Alara called?
Oh, she was with also, Alara got like, whatever, 50 or 100 gold pieces worth of...
I gave Alara all of the money. Whatever you do to bridge us, money-wise, when we play the mid one, it's like, all right, you guys now have like 100 gold. And we're like, well, I feel like Alara has 150 gold and I have 50.
The crazy thing I have to think about in terms of like how DCC is set up is the literal amount of money when you create a character from scratch between like level 1 and 2 is like the difference in like hundreds and thousands of gold. So it's like, holy shit, does this game just give away like tons of money just in the campaign? Is that the concept? Because like the difference between level 2 and 3 is like thousands and thousands of gold. It's like, oh, I guess you just come. It's like my original game, the original fucking long form campaign that we did with the table was like, yeah, here's gold.
I'm so bad for that because, okay, hear me out. In I think it's in the DMG for D&D 5e. It lays out hirelings. And it's like, I think it's like 5 silver or something like that for an unskilled worker, an unskilled service. And then it's like 2 gold pieces for a skilled one, right? So when any of my players go to hire people, I think about those numbers. And I'm like, okay, so like, do you guys want an unskilled person or a skilled person? And then, because I'm an absolute fucking bastard, whenever they go to do a job, that's what I pay them. You're never going to afford a potion of healing.
That's hilarious.
Enjoy your 2 gold a day.
Good.
That's funny.
I'll give them a little bit more. Where I'm like, all right, I'll give you like 4 gold a day. And I'll let you negotiate up to 6. But you're getting nothing for this job.
Something that I always hate working with is like, oh, they just killed somebody who has a 800 gold suit of armor on them. Fuck.
Yeah. What do you do?
It's like, nobody, just in your head, nobody take the armor. Nobody take the armor. Nobody take the armor.
We're taking the armor.
Oh, well, the armor has all these family crests on it, and it looks, you
you guys
can tell
really
where it came from.
Well, that's what you do
and it's
is
all
like-
really
dinged
fucked it
up.
up. You know, you put some cracks in it.
You destroyed the armor by being able to destroy him. You did that by destroying the armor.
Yeah.
That'd be great to do. Is just slowly decrease the AC, and then at the end, you're like, I want to loot his amazing armor, and be like, oh no, remember when the AC kept dropping? It's because you destroyed the armor in this battle. But also, yeah, just at the end, just being like, oh, this thing is riddled with family crests and insignias and passages from the god that this family specifically follows. This armor is extraordinarily notable. And yeah, you don't have to wear it all of the time, but like, it takes an hour to don it. So like, you can keep it, but if you wear
God
it,
damn it, an hour.
if you wear it, people are going to know that you stole this shit. And if you don't wear it, it's going to take you so long to put on. Enjoy. You have the 800 gold armor.
Yeah.
You'd have to find a really good fence to not rat you out, because the person that you killed, their family would pay a lot of money to find out who killed them.
To make this armor wearable, the blacksmith's going to charge you like 400 or 500 gold.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I guess. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, melt it down.
Stop
Sell the
looting
raw
and take the
mats.
2 gold for skilled hireling that you are.
That's funny.
Love it.
Well, do you guys have any other questions about the game?
No. That's it for the story. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed our characters. I really hope that these 2 characters, and I kind of am starting to hope that this is a staple, at least for more successful games. It might not always be that way, but for more successful games like the DCC one was, it was a great story. We did a good job completing it. I really liked our characters. I kind of hope that it's Esper and Alara through the mid campaign, or the mid-level mini campaign and the high-level mini campaign. And I kind of hope it's how I'm writing our next one.
Sure.
I kind of hope that that's a staple of like keeping the characters throughout all 3 games and seeing them advance as well.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine. The only other thing I want to say is I'll put the notes and the text doc that I made for both the funnel and for this game. I'll put it on their Discord. So if people want to check it out, people want to run something similar to it, they can do that.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. It has my lore dumps, and it has like the different events and things and possibilities on there.
Yeah. Sick.
Yeah, should be cool. Should be fun.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
that's the Cooldown.
Thank you for listening to Take the Damage podcast by Unfortunate Ones with our DCC Cooldown. The links to our various individual as well as Unfortunate Ones links will be in the description. So feel free to go check out any of our individual stuff, as well as our Patreon, our Discord, all of that great stuff.
I apologize for my voice.
You bastard. All right. Thanks for listening.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.